Hey guys, it's me Jake from JakeMan21642. Today I'm actually in front of the camera, which is something different. It's a little weird for me because I have not done a vlog in a while. But I figured today this would be a good way to pay tribute to my car, my daily driver, which is now for sale, my 1994 Saturn SL2 Homecoming Edition. And you guys are probably like, Jake, what the hell is going on? You said a week and a half ago that you had no plans to get rid of that car. Well, basically, I've upgraded my daily driver. I still have the 71 Beetle, but my daily driver is now a 1993 Honda Accord EX. Completely different video. I'll get to that. Many of you that are on the Facebook page know the car, know the story about the car. Most of my personal friends know, but I'll get to that another day. Video coming soon on that. Today is about my 1993 Saturn SL2 Homecoming Edition. I bought this car February 25th, 2013. I bought this car for $853.08. Backstory behind this car was it was traded in at a Ford dealership that my best friend used to work at for $100. The people traded the car for $100 because they thought it was dying. They traded it on a new Fusion, so they're out there with a car that's really dying now. But long story short, we were able to pick up the car. He helped me get it because I couldn't have gone in and bought it as a customer. He was able to buy it wholesale and switch the title over to me. I paid for it. And basically, this was just a car that I knew I was getting my license soon. I wanted a better commuter car, because I had the 71 Beetle as my car I learned to drive on, my daily driver, but I wanted a car that had safety features like a airbag, you know, was just more comfortable, was a more modern car for daily driving, and that's exactly what this car was. And I bought it going into it thinking, it's going to be like a Chevy Cavalier, it's not going to be a nice car, I'm not going to enjoy it, I'm not going to get attached to this car. It's been completely different. I love this car. I really don't want to sell it, but at the same time, I'm in love with my Accord. I love my Honda. This is a car that's really going to last me a couple of years. This is going to be a fantastic car for someone that's on a budget. I really wish a friend or somebody would buy it so I could just have the car around, but so far nobody's taken a bite at it. But I know this will be a fantastic car for whoever picks it up. So essentially, this car has been through so much with me. This was the first car I ever took a legal drive in after I got my license. I'm leaning against this center console and it's creaking. See, these are the 90s GM things I'm not going to miss, but we'll get to that. But this was the first car I ever took my legal drive in. First car I ever went on a road trip by myself in. You know, there's so many memories attached with this car. One of my first memories of it was the night I test drove it. I took it over to my ex-girlfriend's house. We were dating at the time. And her and I had a massive fight because she insulted it. And I was so excited to show her the car. And she was like, why do you want to buy this terrible car? It's a piece of junk. Why would you ever want this? Blah, blah, blah. It's not a Volkswagen. And I was kind of just like, you know what? Shut up and enjoy your car that your parents buy you. How about that? But even she grew to like LaQuanda, as we named it. That was this car's name, and LaQuanda is my homegirl. She has been fantastic to me. I mean, there have been things here and there. I've had to put a starter. I've had to do brake work. Car needs oil changes a little earlier than normal cars would because these do burn oil. Like, these cars would consume oil when they were 3 years old. I remember my cousin had Saturn SL2. She had newer ones back in like 2002, and they would consume oil. So, completely normal for these. Not worth fixing because it was an $800 commuter car. That is another, probably my catchphrase for this car was not worth fixing. You know, the car does have its flaws. The Accord has its little quirks, but the Accord, I'm getting things worked out. But you know, this car was just fantastic. This was a great, you know, throw my shit in the back and drive to the beach for the weekend. You know, going around town. This was a fantastic around town car, you know. I didn't want an automatic. This was the first car I ever owned with an automatic, but honestly, I got used to driving an automatic. I still have the Beetle, which is a stick, and I still have my mom's car I can drive anytime, which is a stick, but, I mean, that's basically the story behind the Saturn. Like I said, I am selling it because I bought the Accord. Overall, the Accord's a much better car. Like, getting back in the Saturn, I'm not nearly as comfortable as I am in the Accord, and I mean, I am a bigger, weightier, fat person, but I'm also tall. I mean, I'm 6'2", and as you can see, headroom's a little... If I wear hats, they will touch the headliner in this car. But the seats, for an American car, surprisingly, the seats actually aren't wide. I have made a butt sag in this side of the seat. Another thing about this car I could never get used to is it doesn't have a dead pedal. So I would kind of always, I'll show you guys in a minute, but I would kind of always sit with my knee up, and I would put my arm like this, or I would put my arm like this, just because this car has such a low belt line. I mean, as you can see everything. This was a great car for going into the city, because it was so easy to parallel park, because it has such a low belt line. But, you know, there are a few things like that. If the seat in this car went back another 2 inches, I would probably be really comfortable. Thigh support isn't the greatest. The Accord, when I went to pick up the Accord, I drove it through Northern Virginia, and I caught Lee Highway and took Lee Highway, which is 29, I believe, to 17, and then to 95, which is from Warrenton, Virginia to Fredericksburg, and then from Fredericksburg down to Richmond. About an hour and a half. I did it in like an hour because I was rolling in the Accord. My friend was following me in his Focus, and I mean, I left him in the dust. I was like, you know, I'm in a 21-year-old car, you're in a brand new car. I left you in the dust. I was rubbing it in, but I did that. I have done that drive because I had a friend, actually, or he lived up there, and then I had another friend that lived up there, same area. So I have done that drive probably 50 times in this car. The Accord was so much better. I mean, I still had fun in this car, but I had so much more fun in the Accord. I was comfortable. One of the first things about the Accord was this window, the driver's side window, was off track, and then the air conditioning wasn't working. I've already fixed the air conditioning. So I was driving with my window down, and then it started raining, and I went to put the window up, and it was off track, so it didn't go up all the way, and you have to guide it with your hand to put it up. So it started raining and like pouring, so I'm in this car like dripping with sweat because it's raining. I'm getting rained on because my window won't go up all the way, so I've already got memories with the Accord. And I know I'm already making it sound like I bought a hoopty, but those were like the 2 biggest flaws with it. But my point was, it was a much better drive than it was in this car. Not that this car was bad, just this car isn't exactly soft. I don't know, maybe it's just the SL2 since it's sport tuned for a GM, but it's not really a soft car. Granted, this car has a very, very worn out suspension. So anyway, I'll stop rambling, and I guess I'll show you guys around the car. How about that? Well, I already wasted a good 8 minutes talking about nothing, so here's to another 8 minutes. As you can see, this is the true homecoming edition. It is in the pearl white color. It does have the Saturn badges, the black Saturn badges. Coming along the side, you can see it does have the body colored mirrors, which I believe you could get body colored mirrors as a dealer accessory, but the homecoming edition came with them standard. I do have the rear headrests, and then coming along the back, you can see I have the spoiler. I put the original plate frame from the dealership I bought it from back on it, keeping my Saturn of Richmond plate frame. As you can see along the back, it's already dirty. I just spent all day yesterday cleaning it. You can see this wheel back here is the one that has the brand new tire on it, because this tire has gotten popped not once but twice. This vehicle does have Kumo Solus KR21s on it, which I've had for about a year. People hate Kumo tires, but honestly, I think these are good. They're a little bit softer than what I would have wanted, but they're great in the rain, and they were great on the highway, which was all I care about. You can see some touch-up paint down there, because I did have to do some touch-up work on that fender. Fog lights on the front. It is a homecoming edition. As you can see coming up to the window, the windshield, you really can't see it from the outside, but the windshield is cracked. It's probably going to need another one for inspection. And then the inspection expires in September. This car probably is going to need some work for inspection, but I'm being honest with the sale. I'm selling it cheap. As you can see here, this pink stuff is from one of my friends who vandalized my car on my birthday, wrote on the windshield. This pink stuff got on this plastic trim, and it has never come off. That happened on Black Friday when I was up like 3 in the morning. I cracked my windshield. And then you can't really see it because the car is clean right now. but all over the hood there are little tiny, you can really only see it at night when the car's parked under a street light, but there are little tiny hail dents all over the hood. And then there are more tiny hail dents in the roof. You can kind of see. There are a few in the trunk. But that happened on my first day at work at my new job at Volvo of Richmond. We had a hailstorm and my car got bitch slapped by some hail. But for the most part, the exterior of this car is in fantastic shape. Of course, there's no rust because it's a Saturn. And one thing I will miss about having a Saturn is being able to do things like this. These plastic panels are kind of awesome. But coming inside, as you can see, this one does have the gray cloth and leather interior. Carpets in this car are kind of especially in the back. Especially that side where I spilled a latte. But carpets are kind of That's about the worst part of the interior. I do have Saturn View floor mats that I took out of a View when I bought this car. At the dealership that my friend worked at, he got me these. As you can see, the leather seat, you can see what I mean about how I put an ass groove in it. And I just noticed it's starting to split right there. But it was like this when I bought the car, and then it started coming apart here. But as you can see, this side's absolutely fine. It's just this side, it was already worn when I got the car. And I've done my best. You can see some of my sub wires down here. I'm leaving the amp in it. It's a cheap amp, I don't care. Coming along the door, everything in this interior, qualities aren't that bad. This is all soft up here. This is soft. See, that's starting to split. These all do that. Down here, it does have a pocket. Inside of here, I do have a Sony 6x5s. And up here, you can see this one does have power locks. Door handle. This door handle's a little sticky. It'll do that, but it still works. Inside, the car cleaned up really well. I did add this center console from a junkyard car. It does have cassette tape storage, and this is the remote for the radio I put in it. But padded center armrest. This was something I really wanted because the car did not come with an armrest when I bought it. And I always forget to show this. It does have a driver's side lumbar. But stepping inside, go ahead and start it up. As you can see, it still runs absolutely perfect. Go ahead and close the door. And that'll go back because I have the seatbelt disconnected right now. This vehicle does have cruise control. It does have that horrible 1990s Caprice door chime. But down here, as you can see, it does have cruise control right here. I do have my headlight controls up here. I wish I could keep my Silver Star ZXEs for the Accord, but I can't. They won't fit. I do have the leather wrap steering wheel, which the Accord doesn't have. Boo-hoo. I don't mind the steering wheel in the Accord, actually. Another thing I'm losing in the Accord is variable speed wipers. Yeah, I mean, new cars don't have this, yet a 1994 Saturn did. Coming along the center, you can see my $10 Pioneer radio. I had a $50 Best Buy gift card, and this was on sale for 60 bucks, so I purely bought it just because it had USB and aux. Honestly, it's not a bad sounding radio, but it really doesn't push a lot of power. Down here, I have the fan controls. These are the 90s sliders where you can... You know, honestly, the sliders in here are smoother than the sliders in the new Corolla. The only time you ever hear it clunk is if you slam it all the way to right here. Otherwise, they're pretty smooth. Down there. This panel is never fit properly. I've kind of just got it put back as best as I can right now. Down here, I have the power outlet, which doesn't do anything because I was on a road trip and I went to plug in my GPS and the rest of the outlet fell down inside the dashboard. Right here, I do have my fog lights and traction control, which the Homecoming Edition came with. Accord doesn't have traction control, but honestly, not something I'm really going to worry about. The Accord does have ABS, which is all I care about. Fog lamps. Down here, I do have the ashtray. Car is a non-smoker. It is a lighted ashtray, too. I put this back in because I had my satellite radio right here. I just taken it out. Leather wrap shift knob, 4-speed auto with performance and normal mode. Right here, there is the power mirror. Power mirror. Not power mirrors. Power mirror control. Driver's side automatic window and all that. I do have a night startup I made of this car, by the way, which I will be uploading probably after I sell the car. Right here, I do have my e-brake, which worked at one point. The e-brake was adjusted properly. Then my rear brake seized for the second time, and Midas just forgot to adjust the brake, so I'm too lazy to do it myself. Up here I do have my rear defrost. As you can see, the seatbelt warning even still works because I have my seatbelt off right now. And right here's the gauge dimmer. Go ahead, step into the back seat of the car. As you can see, the leather and cloth does follow through. Right here I do have an ashtray, just because it is the 1990s. And I do have a split folding rear seat, which I forgot to vacuum in the crevice, but oh well. Which the Accord does not have, but oh well. Up there, as you can see, my speakers. And the back seat space in the Accord is much bigger. As you can see, it does come with these pockets on both back seats too. Overall though, the interior of this car did hold up pretty well. The one thing, and Kyle Liberty, you always criticize, is my headliner. As you can see, a chunk of it is actually missing back there. But the vehicle will probably need a new headliner. I'm sure whoever buys it probably won't replace it. Sunroof does work. I love the way this sunroof is too. It's one of the really cool 90s GM ones that went up and over the roof. I will miss that in the Accord, but oh well. But as you can see, headliner is not pretty in this car. And pop the trunk, and I'll pop the hood. Coming along to the trunk, you see, it's actually not a bad amount of room. The Accord is bigger though, which really isn't something I'm even worried about, but spare tire underneath here, I had to use it twice. Jack, I kind of just threw back in here, and the tire iron. You can see the amp and all its wires, I just tossed down here also. But trunk is, everything's pretty much cleaned out of the car at this point. Coming up to the front, do have the glove box, which I always like, because say you're in here with your lady friend and you need to get something out of the glove box, it opens like this, so you don't feel like you're violating your lady friend by sticking your hand in her crotch. But in here I do have a lot of the service receipts for work I've had done to the car, which I'm including with it. I'm keeping my owner's manual. Underneath of there is the fuse panel, and you can see the carpets on this side. The carpets themselves actually really aren't in bad shape. It's just these floor mats, which I'm just going to leave in here. I bet you this. Yeah, this cubby's still loose. I unscrewed that to put speakers in the door and never tightened it. And as you can see, my Silver Star ZXE bulbs, been over that. Up underneath the hood of the car, it does have the 1.9 liter. Those are fireworks, not gunshots. It does have the twin cam 1.9 liter inline 4-cylinder. I do still have the intake on it, probably just leaving the intake on it. Those things are like 20 bucks. Does have a new battery. Car does need motor mounts. Something I was going to get around to doing, but just haven't. I'll go over the Accord and why I bought it in another video, but overall, this has been a great engine. You just need to watch for oil consumption with these, and you've got yourself a good engine otherwise. So anyway, guys, this is my 1994 Saturn SL2, and this is the last video I'm making of her, you know, the final tour and goodbye. There may be some other videos I've made that'll be on my computer. Again, fireworks, not gunshots. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and subscribe for more. And there will be videos of the Accord, I promise.